This was our summer Swiss tournament at my local club. My first round was with Matt Roeder, 1745. Um, a pretty strong player, very good, very solid, and I haven't had many games with him yet. I think this is my third one, so I've lost two games to him, I believe, if I look at my score sheet. Um, Actually, let's take a look. I think I have it on here. You guys probably can't see it, but let's see. Rotor one. There's one there. Two. I'm pretty sure this is my third game against him. Maybe it's my second. I think I was hoping to. Might be my second. Can't remember. But either way, I was hoping to gain a point back against my opponent. Unfortunately, I was not able to do that, as you can see by the score. But let's get into the game. I can't play chess. It's just interesting to watch. It's hard for me to understand the pieces and the rules. Well, that's the whole idea for coming and hanging out with me and my channel. I try to help new players that are interested in chess learn how to play and become better and gain some of that understanding. I learned how to play chess when I was like 8, and I'm teaching my son and my daughter how to play. So I think if I think anybody can really learn and can learn enough to be able to learn how to play the game and enjoy it. So, all right, let's get into it. So I started my normal opening with c4, and I had not played. Yeah, this is my second game against Matt. I had not played him with white. Last time I played him was black, and I played a Dutch defense against him, and I did not know what he played as black. So it was I was pretty happy to see a symmetrical English. The English structure is noted by, is it this way? Yeah, there we go. Noted by C4, and symmetrical English is by C5. So I was happy to see this. I'm familiar with these structures, so I'm pretty happy to see it. I was, however, not very happy to see an early D5. I've only seen this twice, where someone gets in an early D5, and this would be my second time seeing it. So, but I do know the line, and it is taking and then threatening to take the knight right away. So he has to do something about it, either protect it or move it. Now the move typically is moving it. I have yet to see somebody play e6 here, which would be this. And that's not a move that most people do. So the move is usually coming back to c7, which is perfectly fine. This is a great position for black. All I know is that the pawn can go 2 squares at the beginning, and the horse moves in an L shape. And the castle can swap the king. Yeah, we'll go over that stuff here too. So the horse is called a knight. So when you're referring to the horse looking piece, that is a knight in chess. That's the name. And these ones that look like a castle are actually called rooks. And you are actually correct. The knight does move in an L or a 7 shape, as you saw from this move here. So I move my knight to c3. There's ranks, which are these 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so on. These are ranks. And then the ones with the letters are files, A through H. Okay. So when I am talking about a move, my move here would be knight to c3. So if we look at this and we go over here and here, the knight moved to letter, then number c3. Good evening, Strobix. How's it going? Welcome. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us. So we're going to go through a little bit further. Yeah, the idea here is knight to c7 gets out of the way of the bishop. Whoa. The knight and the bishop attacking it. So I'm doing really well. That's good to hear that you're doing well. Yeah, I hope that helps. So, and the idea in a chess game, for those that maybe don't know, is to checkmate the king. And what checkmate is the idea that the king has no spaces to move and it is attacked. So, and there's no way to defend it. So that is the end of the game. Checkmate leads to the end of the game. So the idea is to strategically move your pieces in a way to try to gain an advantage by taking other pieces and then ultimately checkmating the king. So he played e5, which is a very aggressive move. It gains a bunch of space for black and most likely the most appropriate move in the position. And I was actually kind of surprised to see this. Matt's a very good player, so he knows how to grab space, he knows how to control the center. How do you checkmate? So we're going to get into that. We'll reach more of a closer to the end of game to show you, but I might have to show some other examples to show you what a checkmate actually looks like. So let's pretend for a minute I was able to make a few moves without my opponent doing anything. We're just gonna make a new variation here. This is just nonsense. And black's gonna make some moves and we're gonna go here and then we're gonna do this. So the next move here would be queen takes f7 checkmate. So the king is being attacked by the queen, and the king cannot take the queen because it is protected by my bishop. Okay, so the idea being the king would then have to find a legal move. Now, the queen protects all of these squares, so the king cannot move to either of these squares either. So the king does not have a legal move, and the king is also in check. That constitutes checkmate. I hope that helps explain it. This is the most basic way that you'll see a checkmate. This obviously doesn't happen in the game, but I wanted to show it just for people's information. If you are unclear on what checkmate is, I hope that helps explain it. So he played e5, and I know that the idea is to attack the pawn. I'm going to get my knight out. And the idea is it's going to provoke knight to c6, which is exactly what he played. So there's quite a few games still left in the Lichess database and the ChessBase Master Mega database here. There's about 1,000 games to look through. So I feel at this point right now it's kind of equal. It could go any way. I'm not super happy with my position, but my position is okay. Could it be better? Yes. Did I misplay anything? I don't actually think so. I think it was played all right. These are all normal book moves. This is quite a common position, though it's a little bit more rare of a sideline. Most people that I play do not fight that far for the center by playing an early d5. And Matt is smart enough to know and has been playing chess long enough to know that you should fight for the center, and he actually has kind of a reverse Maroczy bind where he has his pawns on c5 and e5 kind of locking up the center. Now that's my idea. That's what I want to achieve in the opening that I've played, but he actually reversed it on me and was able to play it himself, and now I cannot. So kudos to my counterpart who played an expert opening, and I've been playing my openings pretty well, and I feel as though he was rather prepared, knowing that his first round could be against me, and I'm one of those English players. And yeah, it could be a while. So I feel as though he probably doesn't see this all that often, and he was prepared for me. Will this stream be about 45 minutes long? Because I may be that time, I may leave. Yeah, I'm going to be streaming 4 games, which is probably going to take me about 2 hours. I try to do about 30 minutes a game. So I need to get a little bit further into this one to get through it. But what's up, buddy?
Can I have a juice?
Yeah, sure, sweetie. So, all right. The idea here is to get castled and king safety, and then he played bishop to e7. After this, I'm expecting him to castle, and then I think right here I still have a piece to develop. I have to deal with this light squared bishop, and I figure b3 with the idea of bishop to b2 is a great idea. And one thing I did not think of was f6. He now has kind of stifled my bishop, and my bishop is now just kind of hitting a brick wall because those pawns are very strong, and there's very little that I can do about it. So right here, I have a note in my book. I have to look, because yeah, this one here, move 15. Actually, did I mark it? Yeah, actually I did. So one of the things I like to talk about during this game is distractions. Distractions are a necessary, or not necessary, but a part of chess, especially when you're playing over the board during a tournament. There's various ways of being distracted. You could be distracted by somebody tapping their feet or tapping the table, or whistling, not really whistling, but like nervous ticks. Some people cough and make throat clearing noises all the time. Some people are always, you can kind of get this sense that I'm bouncing my leg underneath the table, and then it kind of shakes the table a little bit. Some people tap their fingers or tap their pens on the table. There's all kinds of different distractions. Now, I'm really pretty good about tuning most of those distractions out. However, I was on call for work this particular game, and it was about this moment in the game, I think maybe a move or two from here, where I'm starting to get some phone calls that I need to take care of. And right here, I'm in unclear territory at this point. I don't know what to do, and I'm not exactly sure how to best proceed with a plan. And so I thought, well, I need to get my queen out, and then I'd like to try to play for the C and D file. I want to get through here. So my idea is to bring my queen up and then bring my rooks over, and then play for d4. My opponent gets another rook, has kind of similar ideas. Get your rooks on open files. He wants to support this pawn. It's easily supported by pushing b6, of course, and he does have it quite locked up with this guy, so there's not a lot that I can really do. Finally, castles. He does have some potential weaknesses against the light squares, but I really have no way of getting in there, and my bishop being on g2, it's kind of locked in. Now, if I can get my knight out of the way, maybe by playing this or this and then this, or this and this, then my bishop comes to life. If you can imagine my knight moving out of the way, my bishop will come into that square, and then I can maybe even bring this here as well. So yeah, I have some ideas. So I complete my plan, and he plays queen to e8, and I thought, well, okay, if you want to come into h5, that's fine. You know, I was kind of like, whatever, what is that going to do? And it was at this point in the game I started kind of really, now I have actual work calls I have to deal with. Not only am I just getting the alert on my phone, but which is poor etiquette by my part. I probably shouldn't have played the game. Nicholas is a cool human, or is a human and is cool. Thanks. I should have probably just forfeited this game, just out of respect for my opponent, and not actually played. A lot of times being on call, it's an easy way to get off of playing, or, you know, I don't get a lot of calls, so I was kind of banking on that, and unfortunately it didn't work. So I thought, okay, well, that's fine. He can come in there. And at this point in the game, he played here. Before he played here, I actually had to go take a call. So I had to leave the board, go out to my truck, get on my laptop, and try to take care of a call. And this was maybe about a 10-15 minute thing. So I'm away from the board, and my clock is just ticking, which is expected if, you know, you have to walk away from the board. So I come back, and I'm obviously frazzled, and this was surprising to me. I didn't expect him to make this move. I thought, well, okay, that's fine. What are you doing with this? And so the idea that I saw is that he wants to maybe trade off my light squared bishop. Okay. To me, that's fine. I didn't have any issues with that. Okay. So I thought really fairly briefly about it and just played knight to e2. And this is, I believe, a big mistake because of the next move. And he was able to capitalize on this very quickly. And I did not see it. He plays bishop to g4. And now, at this point, I'm frustrated and irritated because I was distracted, and in my moment, at the critical position, I made an absolute gross error. And it's extremely difficult to play when you're unfocused and you have distractions. It's one thing if you get up from the board on your own accord and you go watch other games and you take a stroll and take a look at stuff and then come back. You're still kind of thinking about the game, but now my focus has been taken out of the game, and I had to switch my thinking to something else. And now I'm frustrated because I'm going to lose a piece because I have no way to save that knight. And I thought, well, okay, what do I do here? And I was pretty happy to find this next resource. So even though I'm distracted, I'm like, you know what? I'm still going to fight this game. I have chances. I know that I can maybe get this back. So I found the move h3 with the idea of when he takes my knight, I'm going to attack his queen and play g4. And then I can get the bishop. I thought, okay, this is good. And he played this immediately. And I played this. What I did not calculate was the next move, which was this move. I did not expect him just to come back and take the pawn, but he did. And now I've saved my piece, but I lost 2 pawns. So is the game lost here? No, it's not lost, but I'm going to be struggling for a very, very long time. I'm not going to have the counterplay that I want. Now, if I can somehow hold this, I don't know what the evaluation is here. I would guess that black is probably +3. Sorry, is probably -3 if I'm evaluating for black because of their space advantage and his queen and me missing 2 pawns. I would guess that this is probably winning for black. So I'm probably already busted. But I feel as though being a defensive player and a patient player that I have no problem being attacked, and I actually sort of like defending. And now I'm kind of on the back foot, and I can be very dangerous when I'm on the back foot. So I thought, okay, well, the idea is if there's stuff going on in the center or the wing to blast open the center. Now, the idea is I have all my pieces pointing at that particular spot. And I thought, well, okay. And instead of going back, I wonder, after that, does this work? No, it does not. Yeah, I thought maybe it did, but he's got that covered by this guy, and this is pinned. So now he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces on there. So now I feel as though I've made another gross blunder, and I am behind. Not and here I'm at like peak distraction because I've also had another phone call and another thing that I had to go back out to my truck for to try to take care of a support ticket. So this has happened more than once now. And I thought, well, I'm just going to get out of the pin, get off the queen, get off the pin so now I can maybe do something. And here it just kind of falls apart. I think to myself, okay, maybe if I can trade off the queens, maybe I have a chance. And I feel as though maybe I think this might have been a better move and just say, okay, let's go. Let's trade off the queens and see if I can get anything going. I'm sure that this position's probably already lost, but I thought, well, queen to h5 is now still covering my pawn, even though he's got 4 pieces on it. 1, 2, 3 pieces on it. I also have 3 pieces on it, so 4 pieces actually with my bishop. And I thought, well, okay, I can save the pawn. And he makes this move, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, now I need to be a little careful. I don't want him coming in here. So I thought king to f2 was a good move. And he took on d4. I thought, oh, okay. That's probably pretty good. And I took with the bishop and with the knight. Now, I think I'm okay right here. I think there's still a game to play at this point. What I have to be careful of is this pawn right here. I can't take it because, unfortunately, and you'll see what happens, is I'm on this dark square line, and I have problems. I take, trying to simplify to make my life easier, and I play here, and he played here, and I resigned because I needed to take with the knight. But it didn't really matter because he's got this coming in and this coming in, and I'm pretty sure my position is lost. And here I gave up. I was distracted. I made too many errors and mistakes in the game, and it was a rough game. And the idea here is it's really, really difficult to play while being distracted. So if you do have distractions, or you have something, you have to find a way to get back in the right frame of mind and play solid chess. Otherwise, this sort of thing is just going to happen. and there's not much you can really do about it, aside from not playing chess when you are distracted. So my opponent played a fantastic game. So great game by Matt, and I wish I could have given him a stronger opposition, but unfortunately I did not. There might have been ways to save the game. I mean, I think I'm still probably even lost here. Now, maybe I could have turtled up and just played way more, solid. I think at this point I'm already frustrated with myself, and I've already tossed this game away, so I kind of just gave up mentally. I mean, even if I play here, I still think this is coming, and it's going to be difficult to deal with. And then even this, it's really tough. So, yeah, I think allowing that was hard. I should have played, instead of playing E3, I think I should have played H3 here. Played right here as a new variation. And then he's staying out of the G4 square. And if he does, come in, I can stop it. So, yeah, tough game. But, yeah, not much I can really do about that. So, thanks for the great game, Matt. As always, everybody, if you enjoyed this video, please like and share. It really helps me out, shows that you want to see more. Okay, let's take a look at the next game. All right, let's do that. And let's make a change here. So we do this, and let's move this a little bit. There we go. So I've not actually analyzed this one as much as I did the other. Pane. All right, we want to save this. Standard. Annotation. There we go. Yes. Okay. Round 2. Welcome, friends. I hope you enjoyed my last video. If you did, go check that out. This is round 2 of the Summer Swiss Tournament at my local club. I am playing a new player that I have never played before named Lee. I do not know how to pronounce his last name. Chavriat? Feel that might have French origins, which is very interesting. But a new player I've never played before. He obviously has played for a little while. And so I knew nothing about this player, and I had no preparation whatsoever. I didn't know anything about this particular player. If you do like this sort of content, please make sure to like and share. It does show me that you like this and you want to see more, and it does really help me out for growth and more exposure, which is what we're trying to do here, so we can teach as many people as possible. That's the whole idea. Okay, let's get into the game with Lee. Round 2 of the Summer Swiss. Really good game. I played a Caro-Kann. I switched my openings to play something different than against E4. Typically I was playing a French, but I did not. I played the French for over 9 months, and I did not like the structures and the positions that I got. Did you miss much? No, we just went over the last game. We're starting game 2. You haven't missed really anything. If anything, the video will be up at a later time, and you can watch the video on the video of the day tomorrow or post back. Either way. So I decided, after talking to some of the people at my club, what they might play and what I should change to from the French, and I was suggested the Caro-Kann, which starts with c6. And I've put some time into it. This will be, I believe, my second tournament game in a Caro-Kann. So this opening is fairly new to me, so I'm not used to a lot of the structures. It might be my third. It's very early. I have not played it very long. So we get this knight to c3 move, and I like the Tartakower variation. So which starts with the pawn taking and then immediately pressuring the knight with knight to f6, provoking them to take, which this is mainline theory. So after knight takes f6, the idea is to take with the e pawn. E takes f6. Now some people don't like to do that because now we've opened this, and it kind of gives us a weird king side that we're not, that's all broken, and some are going to say, doubled pawns are not good. Doubled pawns are not good. But the idea is that these two pawns, the two f pawns, are actually extremely strong. They're tough to crack through the king side, and we'll see why. So he plays a normal move, knight to f3, which I'm familiar with. The idea is to play bishop to d6 and get an idea of castling and king safety as soon as possible. And then this was the first move that I was not recognizing. A lot of times the bishop goes to e2 or it goes to d3. And the knight, though I have seen it go to f3, typically goes to e2. So we get more of a position like this. New variation here and then here. Idea being, after castles and this, we're going to get this queen side, attack, and king side attack, I mean. So there's these different things that you want to consider with this particular opening, and he did not play these. So he played a goofy move order, and he played a goofy moves, which I have not seen before. Now these could be very common moves, but I'm not familiar with them with the limited amount of knowledge that I have about the Caro-Kann. At least the Tartakower variation anyways. Maybe in Discord after, do you want to go against me in chess? I usually save requests like that for Twitch rewards. So the more you watch, you should get those little pawn points, and you can turn those in for actually playing me in a game. So I'm not a skill-based streamer. Otherwise, I'd be playing people all the time. I am an educational streamer, so I do not usually take requests, but I have it as a reward for people that enjoy watching and want to either beat up on me or get beat up by me on stream when you cash those in. So with loyalty, I will be happy to play you when you cash in those 100,000 pawns or whatever it is. I don't know what it's set to. Maybe we will have to adjust that as we grow, but we'll figure it out. But if you do join my Discord and you are in there, you can definitely put a game request out there, and there are people in my Discord around appropriate levels that would love to play you. We're building a nice community for people that enjoy playing chess, so feel free to offer up a request there. You can do it in the Find Games section. All right, so the idea here is to castle early, and he castled early as well. And here is where I had to make my first real critical decision. I had two options, I thought. One option being bishop to e6 and pressure his bishop, which if you can trade off light squared bishops in the Caro-Kann, it's usually pretty good for black. Or I play bishop to g4 out here. and pressure the knight, hopefully provoking something like this, and then we would play on from here. But I didn't want to do that, so I thought, you know what, let's put the question to that player right away. Mainly because if they take, we'll add a new variation, and we take here, I have a strong center, and I feel like this is really good. This is going to be tough to break through. I'm going to get my rook, behind here. I'm going to get my knight here, and I feel like we've got a really good game at this point. The other thing I'm going to move is my queen here, and then we're going to pressure the king side. So I feel, I'm happy with this variation. I feel like this is very good. Even if he does get this half open file with the rook coming at me. So, I feel like we're in a really good spot. He did not take, he decided to move his bishop back, which I found to be very interesting. So now I feel as though I'm gained a little bit of an upper hand because now I have tempo. I've gained that tempo back because now he's moved his bishop twice in the opening, and I feel really good about that. So I expect that he's gonna maybe start this new idea. So I thought, okay, well, I'm just gonna solve that problem right now, and we're gonna play g6, which stops that from happening. He came in here, and then, which I expected. Now maybe I'm not supposed to let him in there yet. Maybe I play this first and then get my knight to here and then here. Maybe that's the first way to go. But I thought, well, he's going to develop his bishop anyways, so I already want to do this. Maybe I want his bishop to be there. Thinking about this more logically, allowing him to do that, I think I should have just played here first. I felt like this would have been probably the best way, because now he's put to a question. He's got to do something with his bishop to keep developing, and he's got nowhere to go. And I'm going to get that for 2 more moves, here and then here with my knight, and I'm going to be in a really good spot. And now he's got to deal with trying to figure out where to put his bishop. Oops, no, we don't want that. Let's delete that. Delete remaining moves. Delete remaining moves. So I didn't do that. I wasn't thinking. This is a new opening for me, so I don't know all the plans and ideas. I don't know the move orders. I don't have that information and experience in my bucket of tricks yet. So I thought, okay, well, we're just going to do this, and now I'm going to get my rook on the open file, which I want anyways. Okay. He has his rook on the open file. That's fine. Perfect. I'm going to continue with my same plan, and he pressures the center, which is a normal move. This usually comes before. Maybe it comes here with the idea of moving the rook over and gaining this type of pressure. And I thought, okay, well, I'm not worried about him playing C5. Oh, we have a new follower. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah Watson. It should actually, oh, there it is. Yep, there it is. Thanks for following, Sarah. Great to have you. Thanks for watching. Much appreciated. Okay. It's a pleasure. Awesome. And a new follower, Just Some Quick Account, which is a funny name, by the way. I like it. Okay. So some of you might look at this and be like, oh, why did you do that? That is... I forgot I was not following. Well, you're following now. Awesome. I was not scared of playing bishop c5. Some of you might look at this and be like, oh, what are you doing? Why did you do that? because I was going to do this anyways and force the trade of the bishop. So and then we're going to do this, and I'm okay with that. And now I have a weakness to go against. So that was the idea there. And I was expecting that to be played, but he did not do that. So I was like, well, I'm going to do it anyways. And now we are here, and I got what I wanted. And now he does this. And I thought, oh, well, you're kind of a bit late. Are you teaching? Yes and no. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of doing both. I'm teaching and I'm going over my games. So what we're doing right now is I'm live analyzing a previous game that I played in the last tournament, while hopefully teaching what I am thinking and talking about to help impart any wisdom that I might have to help you guys learn. Can you defeat AI? Can I defeat AI? You mean like a chess bot? I mean, some of the lower rated ones, sure, but that's not something we normally do on my channel. But yeah, some of them, 50, I think the highest one that I've beaten is like a 2000 or something on chess.com. Can't remember. So here I thought, okay, I can simplify a little bit by trading off my bishop for a knight. And maybe this wasn't good. Maybe this was good. I'm not sure. But I feel like I'm doing okay right here. Now, I probably shouldn't have simplified. I probably should have kept my bishop on the board. And maneuvered a little bit differently. That probably would have been a better way to go. It's good to have more pieces on the board. So essentially what I did by making this trade was, I gained a pawn, but I made my life more difficult by not keeping the pieces on the board. Just because now I've started to simplify, so now I have less pieces to attack with. So the move that I expected him to play was this one, hoping that I would take and losing another pawn so he could bring this other rook into play, but he didn't play that. He played this instead, which I found to be interesting. And I thought, oh, okay, I can't take that, so that's not good. So I have to do something about that. And I just moved out of the way. Well, putting him in check. And I get some tempo here, but now I'm trying to maneuver my knight around to go after the things that I want. So now I'm targeting another pawn, I'm targeting the bishop, and I'm targeting check. I'm targeting another force of trade of pieces. And I get my trade, and then I traded those pieces down, and now I'm in this rook and queen endgame. And this is probably what I should not have done, because my life became it was a lot harder to deal with at this point in the game. I probably should have just kept my knight there and just tried to improve by getting my rooks like this, and then let him deal with the pressure. But I didn't do that, unfortunately. I think this would have been a better plan for me, or even going here and then here, but after getting my rooks on the open file, so I can trade a little bit more on my terms. Now, I did trade on my terms, but I think this might have been a little premature. And even doing that one, I think I should have just played rook to d8 here. Just do this. And then, whoops. New variation. And then now, what is he going to do? If he trades, then I'm going to own the open file. If he moves anywhere off of this, you know, I get to take this pawn. It's getting uncomfortable for him. So that's a thing. I feel like that would have been much better. I didn't do that. I simplified and made my life harder. But I saw a way to win some pawns. But now I'm in this weird thing where I have to now promote. Now I have to promote. And we go through this maneuvering of queens and checks. And it gets a little bit tricky. You know, he's threatening things and I'm threatening things. And we're trying to maneuver our pieces around. And I finally got to force the queens off. Woohoo! That's what I wanted. I needed to force the queens off. And for those of you that can't see this, he can't move his queen away because it's pinned to his king. He'd be in check. So I got the force of the queens, and he came in, which I was expecting. And when I got to here, I calculated the next few moves. I calculated trading of the queens, so we're going to go there, 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 okay? And then he's going to come here, and I have to deal with this issue. So when he comes here, I'm going to go here, and I expected him to come here, and then I would go here, protecting my pawn. Okay? That I calculated all that. Now it looks really weird. Let's look at it. Okay. So he comes in, I go here, we take, he comes down, I go here, and we go here. The one move that I did also calculate was if he came back here, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. I would do that, and then I would just go here, still protecting that pawn. Now if he trades, now I have a winning endgame. And instead he played this way, and at this point I feel I also have a winning endgame. I think they both work. So everything seems to be working the way I want, and now I can slowly just kind of improve. And we do that. We get our kings active. I gain some space. You're playing with somebody in the server right now and you're losing. Well, you know, chess is all about learning how to lose. He played this poor move, f4, which allows me to win the pawn and then save my pieces. And now he has no way to stop my pawns from coming down the board and getting a queen. So he resigned at this point. But yeah, a very instructive game. I feel like back here I shouldn't have simplified. And I think even here, after he did that, I feel like I probably could have just done this as well. And now he's got to figure out what to do. I'm going to come here next. He's got to deal with his bishop, and then I'm going to win another pawn. Yeah, this is losing, and I probably could have won this game in a lot quicker fashion. But yeah, I mean, what are you going to do, right? But yeah, I could have played it better, but I did get a win. So we are now sitting at 1-1, and that completes round 2. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share. It really helps me out, and it shows me that you want to see more, and I will catch you in the next episode. Okay, everyone, let's take a look at the next game. Okay, whoopsies, that's not what I wanted to do. Close you out. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. All right, let's close that out. No, I don't want to save. Let's find the next game. My next game... No, I'm not ending. Sorry. So what I do is, let me explain before we get into the next game. What I do in did it actually keep? It did. So what I do is I do a start of the video and I do an end of the video, so I know where to cut it up because what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop this whole stream up into 4 videos, which is 4 singular videos that I put on YouTube. So I like to add those pieces in there so that way it looks like I made the video from scratch instead of during a stream, but I'm kind of trying to do both at the same time. So that's why I say thanks for watching and all those things. I add those in there because it's part of the video, not necessarily part of the stream. So just kind of be mindful of that. Yeah, you can say whatever you like. Yeah, I mean, this is interactive, please. If you guys have questions, if you don't hurt. I don't hurt. Everything's fine. Screenshots. Oh, nice. Yeah, you're a graphic designer, really. Awesome. I need help with some things. Mainly my overlay. I need to update some of that stuff. Yeah, that's not my forte. I've done most of my own stuff, so it's not amazing by any means. And yeah, it could be improved for sure. I did start doing it, so if you look at my channels, my channel art looks much better now, but my stream is not awesome. I need it to look more like my channel art. I just have not gotten to it yet. So I do understand it does not look amazing. Yeah, I'd love to see. Shoot me some screenshots in my Discord, and yeah, I'd love to see what you're doing. That'd be awesome. Much appreciated as well. So thank you. I got checkmated. I don't know how to say it. That's exactly how you say it. But you put up a fight. Also a graphic designer. But I'm okay. Well, either one of you being graphic designers, you're probably better than me. So, yeah. I don't imagine that. If you look at my channel art now, I did do some updates. It was very, very bad before, and I was upset about it. So I spent some time this week, and I updated my channels. So let's go look at them. And you guys let me know what you think. So, let's pause. There we go. Okay. Let's see here. We're gonna move that over here. And then what we will do is we'll go to full screen action. There we go. So there we go. Yeah, I have this here, and I made a new thumbnail, which is gonna kind of cover most of everything that I have. Actually, you know what? I can just show you it. Why don't we just do that? You guys can tell me what you think. There is my screenshot. So this is going to be what most of my videos thumbnails look like, which to me I think looks pretty good. It looks a lot better than the stuff that I had before. And if we minimize that and then match it, it kind of has a theme. We have things kind of looking a little bit more cohesive. So yeah, I'm excited about it. Things are getting better. We are improving for sure. Is there more to be done? Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. But I am always open to ideas and options to make things look better and cleaner and whatnot. Yeah, this is my Discord. It's usually on a cycle, but there is the Discord. Delete it. What? I can't even put my own What are you talking about? Okay. Fine, let me put it. My bot got mad at me posting something. That's amazing. That should be good now. Looks like it went through, so there you go. Okay. Welcome, friends, to a new episode of Road to Class B. If you like this sort of content, please make sure to like and share. It does help me out a lot, and it shows me that you'd like to see more of this type of content. This is a series where I document my journey on how to get to Class B, Class A, Expert, and then eventually, hopefully, Master within whatever number of years it takes to prove that an adult improving chess player can reach higher levels of chess with enough work. All right, so this is round 3 of my Waukesha Chess Club Summer Swiss. I played a gentleman by the name of Dan Gleason. I've played him once before, and he has a very interesting story where he talked to me about where he has not played since he was in high school or a young man, and he's like in his late 70s, so he hasn't played in like 50 years, which I found to be astonishing. I will get to any requests after the stream, so thank you for requesting, and we will chat afterwards. Okay, let's get into the game. So I played c4, which is the English opening, and he played a King's Indian defense type of structure, which he admitted to me after the game that he is just starting to do this and not very versed in a lot of the ideas. So this is new territory for him. But he's gaining experience, and he is enjoying trying to figure out what to do. And now that he's in his golden years, he's excited to be playing chess, which I just found to be amazing. There's like half of the club that I go to in the Waukesha Chess Club. A lot of these guys are older and retired and in their late 60s to early 80s. So there's a big gap of people that are in my club that are strong chess players that have been playing for longer than I've been alive. And I find that just absolutely fascinating, which is great. And I'm learning a lot from them, which is fantastic. And they're all really cool dudes too. So, all right. So I play the Botvinnik English, which follows up with e4. I like to gain control of these two squares and essentially this square here. It's this Maroczy bind type of structure, which is difficult to crack through. And being my opponent is a King's Indian player, a King's Indian defense player, he is not necessarily going to be challenging the center on d5. The moves that my opponent likes to play are going to be one of these. Great. I'm familiar with these. I love playing against this setup because I know how to play against it. And I have some of my most spectacular wins against this structure. And I'm very excited about it. All right, so we gained more control over the e4 square, or the d4 square. And yeah, we have all of this territory, which is great. My opponent played c6. And which to me is an interesting move. I think a lot of players like to play knight to c6. They like to play this instead. I don't think that's necessarily the best move either. I don't know. I think it's a personal preference thing depending on what type of King's Indian defense player you are. But I've seen both and I've played against both, and that's okay. Some people see this move, h3, is a good move. And you're like, well, why are you playing h3? Well, what is the point of that? And the whole idea of that is controlling this square. So the knight cannot move there, and the bishop cannot move there, or a queen even. So that is... Oh, I have an alert. Nope, we don't need to do that now. So that's what they call a prophylactic move. It's a move that maybe doesn't necessarily improve my position any, but it controls squares that I don't want my opponent to get to, right? which is a very, very important thing. My opponent played bishop to e6, attacking my pawn, and I believe that this is actually a mistake. And you might be like, well, why? Why is this a mistake? And you're gonna see very soon why this is a mistake. And the whole idea is this particular square right here becomes an issue and difficult to contend with. And it will come apparent in a few moves. But I think the better move is to actually delay developing the bishop and just bringing your knight to here. Let the bishop come to light later, or try to bring it back. All right, have a good night. Thanks for coming by. It's nice to see you. And thanks for following. So bishop comes here, and we just protect the pawn. I want to make this move anyways, so it's kind of a tempo that doesn't really matter. And have a good night. And now he develops the knight. Now, as you can see, you might look, okay, this looks great. Look, black is super solid. Everything is good. But this bishop right here, what is the problem with that bishop right now? Please leave your comments down below. Pause the video. Try to figure it out for yourself. Tell me what is wrong with the bishop on e6 right now. All right, for those of you that didn't pause or you're looking for the answer after that, the issue with this bishop right now is that it has no squares to move to. It is now trapped. It is stuck by these right here and my pawns protecting these squares here. Completely stuffed. That bishop is a problem. It is completely trapped, and there's very little it can move. So dealing with trapped pieces is very, very hard to identify as an intermediate player. It's very difficult to deal with. So, and my opponent even mentioned that after the game when we did our post-game analysis, he said, I think I made a major mistake with moving my bishop to e6. And I said, I think you did. But I think your issue wasn't with the bishop moving there. It was more of blocking it in with your knight. And it becomes an issue very quickly. So we both castle. We both now have king safety. And now I play f4. And this is where it gets really tough. Now you can see that bishop is going to get pressured, right? He has to deal with this. This is my next move is coming here. And this square is now, he's going to have all kinds of problems very quickly. So if he does nothing, and he goes here, let's say, I'm going to go here. And if he takes, I'm going to take. And now the bishop is still trapped. I'm protecting this. Bishop still has no place to go. I'm going to win that bishop. So he has to deal with it somehow. Storm, hey, how's it going? What's going on? So that being a trap piece, he's now got to deal with stuff. And even so, if he decides to take here, and we do a new variation, I'm going to take here, and he still has the same problem. Phone's at 2%. Oh my gosh, plug it in, man. That's the danger zone. I hate it when my phone is plugged in on my right next to me right here, because it was also in the danger zone. I don't like being in the danger zone. So back to the game. So yeah, we have to deal with this particular issue. And he did. He played knight to c5, and he gave his bishop an escape square. So now his bishop is no longer trapped. But he had to waste a tempo to do that. Whereas if we go back before we castled, and he just didn't play that move and played here instead, and then we played all the same moves. I played here, he played here, and then I played here. Now it's his move. And now he's got a tempo to decide what he wants to do. Then I'm going to play f4. So the idea a lot of times in the King's Indian defense is to move this knight out of the way and then play f5. So the same type of plan. But I'm going to get there first. But with this position, you can then still play it. And now we're going to have a chaotic mess. And this would have been better chances for my opponent. I think if Daniel would have played this, we would have had a much different game. And it would have been a little bit more explosive and a little bit more tactical, way more tactical than I'd like to get. But that would have been much better chances. And that bishop, though it's not doing anything in the game, it was not trapped in by his own pieces like it was right here. So now he has a serious threat he has to deal with. He does deal with it, and I play f4, f5 anyways, dealing with the threat. And if he plays here, I'm happy with this. I'm going to play here. I get two things. I get this strong pawn on f5, which is, I get three things actually. I get the strong pawn on f5. I've opened up his king, and I've opened up my bishop. And I get all these things. And this is just glorious for me. This is the best thing. And now I'm going to go boom, boom. And I'm going to just march these pawns down the board. And it's going to get really bad for black really quickly. So he didn't take, and he moved his bishop back. So now he's played two moves where he should have just never played that move, and he would have two different moves on the board. So he's lost a bunch of time moving that bishop twice, and now it's on its home square. So he undeveloped his bishop and had to move it back because of some difficulty. So at this point, I'm thinking, oh, I'm in really good spots here. So now I have a bunch of plans. I want to get my bishop here. I want to get my queen behind it. I want to potentially trade off this bishop on this square. I want to get my pawns rolling, my knight behind, and then just start pushing my pawns. That's my major plan. Now, before I do all of that, this knight has the potential to come in here, so I have to deal with that knight first. So instead, first, I protect my pawn, so if he ever takes here, I can take back. I can move my king and then move my rooks. Okay? And I thought, okay, this is good. This is great. I also start another threat. So if he does not play h6, let's play, say he just does some other move. Let's say he plays b5 here, which might not be a bad move. I'm going to play here. He's going to come here, and we're going to do that. And now look at that bishop. That bishop is blocked and stuck. It has nowhere to go. And these pawns are ridiculously awesome. And there's no way to get rid of them. You got to start sacrificing pieces. So I'm going to come here, destroy that, and then I'm going to march this guy down the pawn. Oh, we made it. We made it. Oh, the danger zone, man. The danger zone. That makes me nervous. So that's my deal here. So he stopped it. Smart. Very good. So now I'm like, okay, I need to get this knight out of here because I don't want him coming in here. All right, we get the knight out of the way. I protect my pawn, and now his knight's kind of out of the game, and I've improved my rook. Great. And I have the potential to start playing on the queen side if I like. Great. But I'm not really concerned about the queen side at all. I am more concerned about my attack on the king side and following the plan that I just discussed with getting my knight here, getting this, and this in, and getting my bishop behind, and getting all these things going. Great. He moves back because he realizes his knight has no future on a6, but it really doesn't have much of a future on c7 either. He's struggling. He doesn't have a lot of options. I even thought to myself at this point, black is pretty much lost. Like, there's very little counterplay, and I'm not sure exactly what he can do here. I think maybe lashing out with b5 might have been an option to maybe get some counterplay, but I really don't see any options for black at all. That's like the nick of time before the phone shuts off, like, maneuver. So, all right, knight goes to c7, and I start my plan, get more pieces over to the king side. All right, And I'm patient. I've got a lot of ideas, and I don't want to screw this up. So he plays a6. So I think he's really trying to play for b5. I think he should have lashed out and just did it right away. But I'm continuing my plan, getting my bishop, and then I'm going to get my queen behind it with a battery. So I'm going to get my queen here, and then we're going to have boom. All right. He plays b5, he gets it in, and I say, well, I don't really care about what you're doing on the queen side. I've got plans of my own. And now I'm going to try to get this pawn. And I'm going to open up his king side even more. So he's smart. He plays king to h7, and I can't do anything about it. But the damage is already done. And I play g5, which honestly should probably be... I mean, this attack is really, really good. I'm really proud of this game because the game's over in 2 moves. He moves his knight back, and I play f6. And at this point, he resigned. I'm controlling these 3 pieces here, and there's just nothing he can do. He's just stuck. He's gonna lose 2 pieces for 2 pawns, and then, you know, my pieces all are over here, and this one's going to easily come over as well. Yeah, it's just a really, really tough game for my opponent. And admittedly so, he did tell me that he really didn't know. After he played bishop e6, he was struggling with what to do. I did talk to him about, was it this plan? There was another plan. This plan, the f5 plan. I did talk to him about that during our post-mortem. He's like, I didn't even know about that. And I think that's just because he's coming back to chess, and it's only been, you know, a few months. So him starting a brand new opening, kind of missed out a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, that's why we play these things and we get better and better. There's another spot in here. That's okay. Yeah, an interesting game. Really tough for my opponent. But all right, I'm gonna take a small break, and when I come back, we will do game 4. But if you enjoyed this video, thanks for watching, everybody. This was round 3 of the Waukesha Chess Club Summer Swiss. I hope you enjoy this type of content. If you do, make sure to like and share. It does help me out a lot. And I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Okay, I'm going to take a small break. I have to bio break. I will leave you with some tunes. Hang on a second, and I'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We have returned. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. Okay, how are we doing? What's the time? Things are good. Excellent. Okay, let's move on to the next game. Let's see. All right. The stream, that's right. It always does, doesn't it? Okay, whoopsies. No, we don't want that. Okay, let's find the new game. No. Okay, let's close out of that one and open up this guy. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Thank you very much. Okay. There we go. Okay. Welcome everyone to a new video. This is round 4 of the Waukesha Chess Club Summer Swiss Tournament. I played a young fella by the name of Agustia Bedoria, a new up-and-coming player who is much stronger than his 14-15 rating shows. He is very good. I happened to get the better of him during this game, but it was. This is a tough game for me. So you're gonna see some fireworks in this one. I made some glorious mistakes. As always, if you do enjoy this type of content and you like this type of thing and you want to see more, please like and share. It does show me that this is what you want to watch. As always, let's get into it. All right, let's see here. So he started with d4, and I immediately thought, oh great, another London player. I got smacked. So Yeah, I got yeah, I sacked for the content, right? You'll see it. We'll do somebody can clip this when you guys see what happens and then we'll put that on my channel. Um yeah, I hope so. I'm gonna have to come up with a catchy title. Queen Sack or Blunder. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna call it. So um I am now I am new to playing the Queen's Indian Defense. So this is a new. I'm playing new openings. Karo Khan, Queen's Indian Defense. I don't have a lot of experience in them, so my black side of the board content is gonna be atrocious at first. Um, so far, he's playing principled moves. Gets a nice center. This is all main line so far that I'm aware of until he plays that move. Um, I believe the moves are still all book at this point, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to break the pin, and I believe this is a pretty calm position. I don't know if this is going to mess anything up if I add my pain. Let's see. Will it? Let's do that. Nope, that's not that messed everything up. Nope. Wrong one. Search results. Oh my gosh, that is also not what I wanted to do. And now everything is messed up. So yes, there are bishop d4 lines or bishop b4 lines. There are, yes, that is true. Those are very Nimzo-like, Queen's Indian Defense-like lines. I was not super familiar with them. Is it reference search? That's what I wanted. So let's see how many games are in the database. There's 1,000 games in this position in the mega database. So this is common. Somewhat common. Maybe not in this, this so at least in the chess-based mega database 2022. I don't know how many there are in Lichess in the Masters database, but I haven't checked it yet. But this is common. Now, one of the other moves, if I go back and take a look, the most played move here it actually is the move I played, which is bishop to e7. The next move is actually attacking the bishop, which is h6, which I've learned my lesson from playing h6. I learned my lesson from playing h6 in this game. You'll see in a minute. Yeah, bishop b7 is the main move. Yeah, but at this point, I have options, and there's a few. Bishop e7 is the top move. Bishop h6 is a move, but it's only scoring 45%. d7 d5 scores 84%. Or is that 64? 64%. c7 c5 scores 100%. So maybe I need to start exploring some c5 lines right here. Because that seems to be very, very good for black. The other two moves that should be considered, or three moves, would be d5, which is a move that I have seen in my courses. The move that Andrew mentioned, which is bishop b4, and that's been played 450 times, roughly, with 53% winning chances. But I played the main move here not knowing it was the main move. I just knew those were, either this or this were my two options. I thought I'd play a little bit safer because I felt my opponent was more of an attacking player. Being a younger teenager, that he's going to want to come at me. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try to play nice and solid, and I should be, he's going to have to prove his attack. A more principled move might have been, I think they're all principled moves, but all four that I mentioned. But I think edgy teenager phase. Yeah, I was an edgy teenager once too, And all I wanted to do back then was attack and play like Fischer and Karpov. So I get it. I'm familiar with the style. And I even talked to him after the game. We did a postmortem, and he's like, "Yeah, I just want to go at you. I want to steamroll people. I don't really even care about my defense." That's what he told me, which is great. That's a style. That's great. And I kind of assumed that this is the way he would play, so I kind of prepared mentally for that. And being that I like being attacked, it doesn't really matter. He plays e3, very principled. And here I played h6, which I don't know if that's actually the best move. Actually, it is one of the moves in the database, which scores 47% for black, which is really great. If you're, 5 or 6 moves in and you're getting 47, 48% for your moves, that's awesome for black. So can't complain. Yeah, there's 200 games in the database that are like this. Castling here is probably better, which is what I would play after playing this game. After playing this game, I learned that castling here is better than what I played. The other thing that you can play apparently is this move, which seems awesome now that I'm looking at it. It puts the question to white straight away. What are you doing with your pieces? Let's go. Let's do it. So he's got problems to solve immediately. And there's 124 games. There's 199 games, 200 games in the database with this. So I'm going to have to explore this line. I actually see this really appeals to me right here. And like, it's just kind of going after everything. Like, this is saving this. This is going here. It's just getting... Yeah. It gets... I like it. I like it. So, that's a move. I like it. The move I played is the third most played move. Other than that, the castling is the move right here, which is what I would play now. There's 1,000 games in the position like this. So, but I played h6, and my opponent played a very good scoring line for white, which is bishop to b4 or bishop to f4. And at this point, we're now getting close to the point where we're out of master books. I don't know if this position is on the Lichess database or not. I didn't go check it. I should have. But here, there's only 13 games found in the 2022 mega database in ChessBase, which has got a couple million games in it. So, and they're all somewhat recent. Actually, recent. Recent to me is much different than recent to some of you. They're all about 20 years old. A little bit more than that, with the exception of one. One game was played d7, d5 right here, but only 6 games on this in Lichess. And is that in the Masters database or the overall database? I feel like this still could probably be in Masters database because it seems kind of common. But yeah, it's not many, so I've got less than 20 games to explore in this particular arena. The Masters database. Okay, so yeah, I try not to look at the other database. I only look at the Masters database and the ChessBase database, and these are all from 2000 and above, 2180 and above players. So, yeah, but yeah, so this is an interesting position, and I castled, which is the top move. So I feel pretty good so far in my opening. And I feel confident right now. I'm feeling pretty good mentally in the game. I feel like he's got to prove what he wants to do with his game. I was fully expecting him to play for c7, but he never did, which was nice. And he was smart, obviously, because, I always have this move. I always have d6 on hand, and it kind of stops all of his play against c7 if he brings his knight into b5. So he plays bishop d3, and here there's only 6 games to choose from, and but all of them at this point right here in the game are all 50% or better scoring. Actually, the way they score this, okay, I'm reading that wrong actually. So this is 100% scoring with d7, d6. Okay, let's see. What's the next move? Oh, I see how it does. So that is c5. I'm trying to read this the right way. I see. So the score is based on white. So right now, d7, d6 has 2 games, which is 100%. Those are both winning, 100% winning for white. So the only move here that is actually any good for black, according to this particular chess base, is d5, which I played. So I feel pretty good about that. And we're still in book, which to me is kind of crazy and very interesting at the same time. I didn't play either of the other 2 moves. He castled, and at this point there's 9 games found, which I find, which is weird. Like, there was only 6 games found before, there's a castle, and now there's 9 games found. There's also a novelty in knight h5. Yeah, knight h5 right here. I did consider that novelty, but I did not end up playing it. And I don't see the game. There's no games with it. So yeah, that definitely would be a novelty, because now you can kind of force the bishop off for a knight, which is great. But you have to kind of force it with f6 potentially. So, but yeah, interesting stuff. The next move I played was a6, and at this point, we are out of book. So I made the first move away from book. But interesting, the moves here are knight to d7, c5, bishop to d6, or d takes c. I didn't consider, I don't think, any of those moves at all. No, I mean, if you play this and he comes here and you wanted to kick the bishop, I'm saying you could play f6, or you could just force the bishops off this way and trade differently. But yeah, there's options. I'm not sure that he would do that, but you know what I mean? If you wanted to try to save the bishop, was my meaning. But yeah, it definitely interesting, of course. So I played a6, and now we're kind of out of the database. And that was probably a mistake, mainly because there's no point to play it. If he brings his knight into a5 or b5, I have knight to a6. I think I was probably, I wanted to play knight b to d7. So the idea was to play a6 so I could play it. Oh, you were talking about d5 before d5. Oh, I gotcha. Okay, so back here. Yeah, it would definitely still be a novelty as well. And then play d6. Okay, sure. That's an interesting idea as well. I like that. So then if he comes here, yeah, new variation, and then this, then we have that. and then we get to force that off. But I don't like it nearly as much with the rook without being castled. Mainly because if he comes here, you almost can't peel it off yet, just because you don't want to open this up, right? Like, then this comes. And I don't think we want that, right? Like, that's just asking to be attacked, right? But yeah, it certainly is an interesting position to deal with. So yeah, I stopped my opponent from coming into b5, which was probably unnecessary. And depends how fearless you are. I have fear when it comes to chess. I am, fortunately, I have experience on my side that will have me be a little bit more cautious than I used to be in my younger years. Okay, so at this point, I'm like, okay, now I have to deal with that knight. It's in there. It's kind of in my face. I don't like it. So now I kind of have a plan of trying to remove it. Right? So I play bishop d6, and with the idea of playing knight b to d7. He plays c takes d. I play e takes d. Now, I feel as though I probably might have been able to play knight takes d5 and then open up my bishop. And that might have been a better way to go. I'm not sure, though. I got some sort of fuzzy in my eye. I'll just play it and dare my opponent to try to attack me. Yeah, I would say I'm much more cautious than that now. So this is an interesting idea. Not sure if that, yeah, because now we are going after this guy. Now what are you going to do, white? And if he peels it off, we peel it off. Okay. Then he gets this. Okay. And then it's a game, right? Maybe that's good for white. Or we get crazy and do that. I ask, what are you doing? If you want to take here, we're going to take another piece. Takes here. Then we go back. Interesting position. But we have no more influence of that bishop, which is nice. Interesting play. Not sure if it's good or bad, but okay. I took with the pawn thinking, okay, maybe I can open things up. And a typical London idea is to bring in the queen into f3 and then maybe h3. And I'm familiar with these ideas. And I thought, well, I'm going to start to try to open everything up. And I played c5. I thought this was a great try. Actually, I'm going to close that reference because we don't need that open anymore. And he played there. And the face I made had to have looked like Kasparov when he saw a move that he did not like. I was just like, what are you doing, dude? What is that? What are you doing? So here I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident. My bishops are about to be just really good. I'm going to bring this knight in here, this guy, do this, and then this. I've got all these ideas in my head, and I'm feeling good. And then blammo! I'm like, what, dude? What are you doing, man? So now I'm like, okay, I have to calculate what is the deal here. And I thought to myself, all right, well, this is crazy. I'm confident I can take that. I got to be able to take that. I know he's got these pieces. Now let's take a look. Boom, 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 boom. All this stuff is coming at me. So let's take a look at all the squares he comes after. Boom, 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 boom. Look at this. Boom, boom. This is kind of not amazing for me. Maybe this was sound. I don't know, but I felt as though he made this without actually calculating. I felt like he calculated a little bit, but not enough. And I felt I sat for a little while. I really thought about taking this pawn, or taking that bishop for a while. Let's see. This is move 13. Yeah. He thought for 15 minutes on this move. 15 minutes he sat here and thought about this move. And I was like, I am not confident that you calculated this all the way through to think that you have a winning attack here. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go for it, and I'm good. I'm going to took it. And I spent 5 minutes thinking about it, and I calculated that I am safe. And I took that bishop. I am now up a piece. Calculated him moving over here. I'm getting out of the way, and I calculated to here. And I thought, okay, I'm okay, because I have two things. I can move here, move my pawn here, and what is he going to do? Maybe sidestep it, but I feel like I'm good. All right, let's go. What are you going to do, man? So I had that move. And then the other move, so I had this. That's a variation that I saw, and I was like, this is fine. Everything here is good. Because now he's got to figure out. But then I saw this, and I thought, don't know that I like that, but I think I'm okay. Because, all right, what do you have to prove it now. And I think I'm all right. Maybe I'm not. All right, so there's that. I was a little scared of this move, and I thought maybe this doesn't work out. I didn't like it. So, and then the other thing that I thought was I can go here. Okay. He can come here, and then I thought, oh, he can take, and I can just give the piece back, and I'm down a pawn. And I thought, well, I'll just play a pawn down, and I'm going to be okay. And I thought, well, okay. And this is where I think I had my longest think of the game. What move is this? 15? 15. Yes. I thought for 14 minutes here. 14 minutes. And I ultimately played a very poor move. I thought, it says he's equal and he sacks a bishop. Yeah, I know, it's crazy, right? So, wait till you see the rest. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to play this. This is a total blunder. I messed this all up. Knight to g8 is a blunder. Double exclamation point. Double question mark. Blunder, blunder, blunder. And why? Why do you ask? I thought this was a sweet move, stopping him coming in at all. He can't come in. This is totally stopping everything. And then he hit me with this move. Double exclam. This is totally winning. Boom. Double exclamation point. And I'm like, oh no. What? And the crazy thing about this tactic is it's like every tactic like in the book, like it covers multiple themes. There's a deflection, there's a fork, there's a removing the defender, there's a clearance. It like covers every single like motif that you can think of at this point. And I'm like, what? I I was not happy when I saw this, obviously. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna take stock of the position. I'm pissed at this point. And I saw two moves. I saw I'm gonna take, and he's gonna take, and then I'm gonna play this, and he's got to go back. So I played here. He took, and I played that move without a lot of thinking. So how long did it take to make this move? Not very long. He spent 7 minutes figuring this out. So 7 minutes. I took and went here, and I got up and walked away. I went outside. I went for a walk. And now I'm thinking in my head, I'm like totally screwed. How am I going to win this game? I don't think I can win this game. And then I sat outside and I walked around. I paced up and down the outside of the club, and I thought to myself, okay, he has one piece on the king side of the board, and I have all of my pieces that are about to come over to the king side. All of them. I have no pawns and no impedance. Nothing is going to impede my way to his king. And I thought, after he does this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. And I thought, I came back. I was thinking about this when I was outside. And I thought, I have 2 rooks, 2 knights, and 2 bishops against a queen. And maybe a bishop. And I thought, I can win this game, and he's not going to be able to defend at all. I'm gonna go at him hard, because positionally, yeah, it's probably +6, maybe, I think here, because I'm down essentially a rook. You know, I saw the pieces on the side of the board. I took count, and I get back to the board, and I take a look, and I really assess what I thought about outside, and I go, I can win this game. I'm only down a rook. I'm down a rook. This guy right here, that's not doing anything. And then these 2 pieces are barely in the game. I mean, this one's here, but it's not doing a lot. It adds a little bit of influence, but not much. I'm not really too worried about it. And unless he can get his queen on that diagonal, there's no mate threats. This bishop is almost useless. This knight is completely useless. And I thought, I'm going to move all my pieces over to the king side, and I'm going to go at him with full force. And positionally, materially, it might say +6 right here, but I believe he has to stop my onslaught of positional mayhem that's about to come. Was this the most chaotic game you've ever played? Yes, it is one of them. At least from recent memory, yes, this is insane. And to think at this point that I was calm and collective to be able to be like, I can win this game, I feel is a big shift in my mentality, because I thought, okay, being down a rook in this position is not necessarily bad. He's got no counterplay, and I have all of it. All right, rook A to F8, getting my battery going. He gets his knight. He needs to get pieces over to that side of the board. Now I've got double rooks shooting this way. And I'm like, okay. Well, now, at this point, now I'm controlling squares. So he's got, you know, what is this one? There we go. Okay. He's got that. Okay. But now let's look at what I'm looking at. Boom. 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 I've got this guy coming in. This guy's about to move to here and then start doing all of this. Emotionally, he took it pretty well. He played f4, kind of lashing out to try to stop a defense. And now I'm thinking, at this point, when I've got my rooks here, I'm like, oh, I can trap his queen, and I can actually get my queen back and then be ahead. And I thought, okay, well, let's go. I played knight f to d6. Now I'm super solid. He's not coming in here, and I'm controlling more squares. And now I can bring my, whoops, nope. I can even bring my rook in here and start harassing his queen. He played h3, which is stopping my idea, and I thought, okay, well, now I have you know, mating threats and discoveries with these options. Look at my pieces. Now all my pieces are alive in a matter of a few moves, and he's stuck with a queen defending. Brings his knight in, and now after he brings his knight in, now I know his queen can get trapped, and now he's really kind of getting stuck. And this was a good move. He came in here trying to defend stuff, and I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to be patient. Take my rook. Take my rook, and I'm going to take your queen, and then we're going to have a game. All right, he brings his queen back. I get my rook out of the attack, and now I've got all kinds of mayhem on the way. He's trying to bring in more pieces, and I'm just going after pieces that are going to be trapped, and now he's got no room for anything. His knight's trapped. I'm going to get another piece, and now if I get the knight, now I'm thinking, oh, well, now if I get the knight, I'm only down two pawns. I'm in the game. He plays g4, and I was like, oh yeah. And I think the thing is when he played g4, he did not calculate it far enough. I think he resigned to the fact that he's like, oh wow, all these pieces are coming. What am I going to do? I think he thought he could trap my rook, not knowing that I had this resource, which to me I think is the best move of the game. I mean, it's tough to not think that this move was the best move of the game, but then I played this next move, which was to me really good, and I played it almost immediately, which to me also gets a double exclamation, because this move won the game. Takes, and now I get my queen back, and now if we look, I am up rook for a rook, and I'm up 2 pieces for a rook, and now the game is won. We played a little bit. He played bishop takes e4 and offered me a draw, and here I sat for 5 minutes thinking, not saying anything. I didn't nod, I didn't acknowledge his draw offer, I didn't do anything. I was just looking at the position, and then I took, and I think at that point he realized that he was lost. He played here, and I have a pretty quick cleanup. I thought he was going to play, back this way to, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, I'm not sure, but I gobbled up 2 more pawns, and I think this last desperate attempt at playing, I can stop it easily. I just played here, and asked him, what are you doing? And he resigned here, obviously feeling the effects of a missed opportunity and attack. And yeah, I think he was pretty bummed out. But he took it a lot better uh, than I was expecting. If this were me and I lost that game, I'd be really upset. But um, he took it really really well. Uh, in my years at this time, if I was his age, back in the '90s, I would have cleared the board. F this game. That's what I would have said. So this was a tough game for Agustia, but we had a really good post mortem. Talked about it after the game, and he's wondering what he did wrong. And I think, you know, yeah, I know, right? Like I think everybody would have that kind of reaction. You know, you go from, where is that move? This move here, and you know, 10 moves later, you get this move here, and you're kind of like, oh no, what have I done? And then you're stuck here, and now you're losing. Um, and it was 31 moves, and he offered the draw, and there was, what, move 31. We both had 30 minutes on the clock at this point in the game. So it was like, no, I definitely have enough time to figure this out. And I figured I was going to pick up those other two pawns. After I played here, I really honestly thought he was going to play here, and then we'd have a game. And I thought, okay, well, this is going to be tough. But yeah, tough game for Agustia. I think he was pretty upset, but he took it like a champ. But he's definitely going to be a force to reckon with very soon. So yeah, awesome game. Yeah, I guess you're right. After that, and he plays here, that would have been, yeah, that would have been over. I didn't I didn't see that during the game. Good point. Um, Definitely wouldn't have been a game after that. So, but yes, rough game for my opponent. Great play, and I'm really proud of this game that I was able to continue fighting and not fall out of it and go from this particular blammo move to winning the game, because this is pretty devastating. Um, so, all right, friends, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. It's a little bit longer than most of my others, so please like and share. It shows me that you enjoy this type of content, and I will catch you guys in the next episode or video. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great day. Okay, that is done. So yeah, tournament wise, I feel like I played really well. I actually won my Class C section with 3 wins and 1 loss, and I gained 22 points out of this particular tournament. So I puts me up to, once the caveman chess. Yeah, maybe. Once in 10 days, when it flips over to the next month and USCF updates, it'll be 1555, so that'll be a new peak for me, which is great. I don't know that it's caveman chess. Maybe for my opponent, but I feel like I played after this particular blunder. I feel as though I played fairly elegantly. Um, Very positionally sound. I feel like I played really accurately after this point. I don't know what the engine says. I haven't looked at it with an engine other than kind of at the end knowing what the eval was. But bishop g4 is not a caveman move. This is complete tactical awesomeness to win the game. Bishop g4 is all baller for sure. I felt like this was a good game. Aside from this particular garbage, I played really well after this. If I didn't play well, I would have certainly lost. Playing a more experienced player, there's no way I would have won this. So if we go to here and I play this against a player my level, up to, playing the other class B, playing anybody in the class B section, this would have been a tough game to win. For sure. Not sure that I could have pulled that off. My opponent did kind of allow some things. But I feel as though I played pretty accurately, even though my opponent did not. Probably could have just consolidated and went after it a little bit more. I don't know. I feel as though after he got to like this point or so, I felt like maybe even not here. I'm not sure. I feel like there was at some point in the game he felt as though that things were falling apart, and then he was resigned to the fact that his attack didn't work out, and now he doesn't have any checkmates. I don't know where that was, but I feel as though that was something that probably went through his mind at some point. We didn't talk about that. This is only my own speculation. Either way, I believe it was an interesting game. But I was happy that I kept fighting, so fun. It was fun. But very difficult. Yeah, I will definitely have to come up with a good name for this. Not sure what. Blunder to Brilliance, maybe? I'm not sure. Queen Sack or Queen Blunder. I'm not sure. I'll have to come up with something interesting. Yeah, I feel like when you see this, like, let's go back. And the queen has, it only has 3 squares right now. So like the alarm should be going off that this is like almost trapped. This is all you get. You're kind of getting boxed in here because these are really crushing, right? And psychologically, that you might be right. That could be very difficult to see or deal with. But he played a good move, and he allowed for his queen to get out, which I fully expected him to get it out earlier. Honestly, when I played here, I think he should have just went back to D1, and then it still would have been a game, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, what do I do after this, right? Oh, maybe just take a pawn. And now what? He's in trouble. Man, I don't know. This is tough to deal with. Okay, maybe go here just straight away. It doesn't even matter because I've got this. This is difficult. Like, you're in trouble. Maybe that. That might have been a resource. Yeah, the bishop, like, yeah, going, yeah, just c4. Not even doing that yet, just doing this. And then his bishop has to go back to like here or here. And it's not coming over to the defense of the king anytime soon. Yeah, tough position. Maybe this entire sequence is like just, even though materially it's like probably +5 or 6, is just not positionally sound. And since engines are stupid when it comes to positionally, like positional types of ideas, that brute force wise just is not good enough. Like, I feel like the engine could easily misevaluate this. No, of course he didn't calculate all this. Not from, like, from this unsound sacrifice from here. No, no, he didn't see any of that. I think when I played this and he played here and I got out of it, at this point I believe he thought he was stuck. Like, I just gave up a bishop. So that's what I feel, anyways. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, but there's something about an attack, though. Like, when you envision an attack, and then if it's a 2 move or a 3 move or 4 move sequence, and in any one of those 2 or 3 or 4 moves, a move is played that you didn't recognize, it is, it can be like almost like demoralizing, right? Um, like, how do you best deal with that? Like, you can almost like give up. Like, oh, my attack didn't work out. I'm just gonna give up. Have that kind of mentality or attitude. Yeah, right. Like, just play this, which I considered as a resource, and I thought, well, okay, if he plays here and we just get a draw, we get a draw. Fine, I'll just go back and forth, um, which I considered as well. And then what? You know, I didn't want to draw. I wanted to win, so I didn't play that ultimately. Now he could have done this, and I could have done this, and we could have repeated twice, and then I, just went back. White doesn't want to play for a draw, so I'd have to put the decision to him. There's another psychology part of the game, right? Like, I could make it seem like I'm ready to play for a draw and then not. So we repeat twice, and then he comes back here, and I go here, and he goes here, thinking I'm going to come back, and then I don't. And then I play like this. And now what do you do? I don't know. Maybe I can't play that. Maybe there's not a resource here. I'm not sure, but I didn't calculate that all out later. But yeah, it's kind of tough. I had a game like this. I had another game like this. Let's look at it. No, I don't want to save. I played this game. Did it close out? What did it do? This game was like that. So I was black in this game. You can see all my analysis. This is when I was trying to play I was still playing a French. And we got to this position. And he sat here for like 30 minutes or something. What was it? I don't even remember, but he spent, 10, 15 minutes on this move before he played this, thinking that he's got this resource. And I was like, oh, well, I can't go back. I'm just going to go forward. Because now he can't bring his queen to h5. And I don't think he was calculating this. Same type of deal where he had this attack and it fizzled out. And I think I actually had a way out of this. We repeated here and I took a draw, but I think I have a way out of this when I looked. There's a combination or something. I think this is the sequence, yeah. And I've got 2 pieces for a rook. And kind of an attack. Whoops, no. Like if he doesn't deal with that. So like, no, that doesn't really work actually, now that I'm looking at it. But yeah, I think there's a way out of this. I'm not sure if, I am kind of interested to know if this is actually good or bad, but yeah, it's the same kind of deal where he had an unsound sacrifice thinking that you can break through and you can't. So I pride myself on these types of defenses. I like them. But yeah, kind of an interesting game. But all right, guys, I think that's going to wrap things up. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks to the new followers. I'll be staying on Twitch. I think Kick was not a thing. I thought it might be, but it's not. It simply doesn't have the tools that Twitch does I was hoping for. I thought maybe it might be an opportunity to kind of get some quick growth by having less competition, but it doesn't have near half of the tools that I use to create my videos and things like that, so it doesn't really work out for me. So we'll stay here and just grow here. And, you know, we're almost at, 100 followers or whatever, so we'll just keep kind of pushing on that. So, all right, thanks for watching, everybody. It was a good stream, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Make sure to watch them all back when I post them to YouTube in the next few days. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.